Welcome to another episode of Blended Views Unfiltered, where we talk life, love, and business. This is DeAndre.
This is Fifi.
This joker's still on this Fifi stuff. I'm in love with the Fifi. All right, Kaylin.
Really comfortable.
Fifi, whatever.
Yes, sir.
A couple questions for you. First question. If you had up to 3 movies to describe your entire life, what 3 movies would they be and why?
I only watched 3 movies in my life. I'm not watching movies.
TV shows, movies. We should have said rapid fire. Nothing? What the heck?
I can't even think of 3 whole names of movies right now. I don't watch movies or TV.
Okay, so we'll just go to one of my famous questions, which I know I have asked you before, but we'll ask it on here. If there was a genre of music that best described your personality, what would it be and why?
Country and gospel.
Why?
Because gospel is my spirituality. I appreciate that. And then country is, even though people think it's a Caucasian genre, it comes from, a lot of our rhythm and blues. So yes, while I love R&B, this is more relatable to me. I think a lot of times our R&B gets lost in sex and sensual, where country a lot of times is very specific on what it's talking about. And so I feel like it just describes things a lot better.
And that describes your personality. Okay. What's the most hilarious fashion trend or movie that you secretly love?
Can I have like one example?
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry.
A fashion trend? What do you mean? I mean, it could be an example. I mean, you love public health. It could be.
Let's not say sex. That's awkward.
it could be putting on the strap on and running down the strap. I mean, running around the
God.
house. I mean, it's a fashion trend.
I don't know. I think I like sweatpants and V-necks.
All right. This is going
I'm
really
so
well.
sorry.
This
Probably should not publish
is going
this.
really well. Okay, if you could have a deep conversation with any historical figure or fictional character, who would it be?
God. Like an answer back. Like I've read books about who we think or what we see God as. And so I think something that if I could actually have like and see it and feel it and that.
Sure. We'll roll with that one, but you still got to answer the actual
Okay, a
question
movie?
again. Fictional character or historical figure? Who would it be? You've never wanted to have like a conversation with anybody from like past?
No.
Fictional?
Think about things I can't do.
Or even present. What about present? Is there anyone that you would... So like for me, I would love...
so sorry.
Listen, I would love to have a conversation with Mike Tyson.
Okay.
I would love it. I think the dude is brilliant. Like if you look past all of his like craziness, I used to listen to his podcast all the time. You said Dennis Rodman? Why?
He's so interesting. He's so confusing to me.
Why Dennis Rodman?
I don't know. He's just weird. I don't know. I watch a lot of documentaries, probably murderers, a lot of murders. I want to understand why you feel the way you feel.
So do you listen to crime docs? Yeah?
Yes, I love.
What is this?
I don't watch TV, but I will watch some crime stuff or some documentaries. So yes, something like that.
With women in this crime stuff.
We're emotional. We want to understand what you're thinking and why you did it.
I feel like only women listen to the crime doc or watch the crime docs and then the true crime podcast.
Yeah. But I honestly, that's the whole mental health thing. I never thought about something I couldn't do. So I've never been like, I really wish I could talk to, I don't know, Dumbo. I don't know. I never thought about that.
Huh. Okay. If you could erase one past mistake, what would it be?
The age I had sex.
Why?
Because I think if I would have known a lot better, I would have done a lot better. I think that I had to learn a whole lot more because of my thought process, because sex grows you up whether you want it to or not.
Yeah.
So I just think that I know that sounds crazy, but that's came to my mind. So I just try to answer fast.
No, that's a good question. Or good answer.
You're confused now too.
If you could start a rumor about yourself, what would it be?
She's not a know-it-all. She's a great person.
That's not a rumor.
Yes, huh?
No, if you could start a rumor. I didn't say if you could tell a truth about yourself.
I like that. You're right. You see how it's got me got a complex. If I could start a rumor, and a rumor is something that's not true, or that is true. Something that's not true.
Most rumors are false.
Or false. So I want to start a false.
Yeah.
She's a boxer. I don't know. a false story about myself.
Yes.
I was in Vietnam. I don't know, the war. That's confusing. I want it to be true. I'm sorry. I'm not good at this one.
Oh, you are terrible at this.
All right. Or maybe your questions are really bad. And
no, they're not.
Well, they should be addressed more people who are like me, who don't do media and stuff.
All right. Let's see. Let me see. Let's do. Oh no, I think I've asked that one before.
That's an interesting question. If you had to start a rumor about yourself,
it is. Most people wouldn't even know where to begin with that.
I don't want things that are false. I went to the Olympics.
Yeah. What was your event? And you got to think about it. So they know it's a lie already.
Sword fighting. What's that called? Fisting?
I have no idea. Fencing.
Fencing. Oh my God.
Fisting is a different type of Olympics.
We don't need you to talk about. Can we please not?
One of them crime docs must have been the Diddy one, huh?
Oh God. I just learned about that yesterday.
Golly.
Uh-oh.
If you knew that you were going to die, what would you do differently now?
My priorities, maybe. What I do differently now?
Like shift your priorities, you mean?
Handle some things, yeah.
Okay.
Like prioritize them better.
Okay.
Right now, I think that I just know I got time, so I just don't.
What makes you think you know you have time?
The human in me.
Who told you that?
The human in me.
Who promised you that?
Nobody.
Okay.
That's why you said shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah,
We know that.
I know.
If I could.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
This is a really
so
good
far,
one.
I'm
You
not
can't mess this
impressed.
one up. There's no way that you could skip this one.
Ice cream.
If you could choose an element, you know what that is, right? Earth,
Only like
wind,
a couple.
Earth,
H2O.
wind, fire, and water. If you could choose an element to be, which one would you choose?
Can you say them again?
Earth, wind, water, fire.
Fire.
Why?
Beautiful.
Remember when I asked you if you ever did anything crazy? And now you choosing fire to be an element?
Earth, I'm here, so I'm not really that impressed with it. Fire, I've never felt it enough to be able to like associate myself with it. Water, I've been in water. I've been in the winds. Fire is just so uniquely unfamiliar to me. We know what fire is, but most of us don't even know how dangerous fire is, or don't even like. You ever seen like how volcanoes erupt and stuff like that?
Yep.
You ever experienced it?
Nope.
Ever felt it?
Nope.
Ever touched it?
Nope.
You touch water, you touch winds, you touch earth.
That's a good point, but yeah, okay.
Sorry, I do not like this game.
No, that was no. That's not a bad answer. That was not a bad. I don't think there's any wrong answers with that at all. But yeah, okay.
I'm doing really bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're doing great. What do your coping mechanisms speak of you?
That I'm not gonna have any teeth by like 50. Because wait a minute, there's drugs that do that. This one is just not going well. Not drugs at all. But lots and lots of candy and sweets. Okay, this is not going well. I do not cope with any type of drugs. I want you guys to all know that. That would make my teeth fall out. You said if one of my coping mechanisms, what was it?
What do they speak of you?
Healthy. Healthy except for like 2 things.
What are those 2 things?
Why?
Huh? Because you said it.
Those two things would probably be.
Probably be, or they are.
Because sometimes I don't feel like it's a coping mechanism. I think it's just something I'm used to.
Okay.
Being military, we just drink. We don't have any other options. So I don't feel like I'm not like, man, my feelings are hurt. I need to go have a drink. But it's labeled as that. Like we do it when we're happy, sad, whatever. Mm-hmm. So probably drinking and the rush thing. Because I think sometimes I cope with things, so I just rush to get them done because I'm like, I just want to fix it. Mm-hmm. So I think the rush thing and drinking.
Okay. Got you. What's the best advice you ever received?
I have 3.
Okay.
That I'm not really sure. And I think I say this all the time. 1, let them. 2, people only treat you according to who they are, not according to who you are. And don't go to God and tell him how big your problems are. Go to your problems and tell him how big your God is. But those are the things they ring in my mind when I talk to people. So, do you like this feeling of being down there?
Oh,
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm like this.
I'm still bigger than you.
We didn't ask that.
Don't matter how low I am.
And my feet still don't touch the bottom of the floor. Well, that was a good question.
I asked you way more than 5 questions.
Well, I only answered 2.
I had to compensate, of course, because, I had to really,
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
Like, I know I just don't watch TV much to even think of something like that.
About the movies?
Yeah, like there's probably some amazing movies out there.
There are. Those are my questions.
Players Club. I'm just playing. I get.
There's money in the building.
Make you.
What if you were sitting in front of your 50-year-old self, what would you want to learn most about you?
My desires. Because I think sometimes our desires are very momentarily things. If I say I'm hungry, I desire to have ice cream. But I don't want to learn why a lot of times. Why do I desire that? Mm-hmm. The things that I don't know about myself. Because by the time I'm 50, I hope that I have some type of alignment. I don't want to still be wondering my desires. So probably my desires. I thought you were going to actually ask the opposite. Like I was trying to guess your question. I thought you were going to be like, what would you tell your 10-year-old self? Don't drink. No, I'm just kidding. 50-year-old self. Yeah, I think desires. Because desires usually fuel most things. Mm-hmm. See, I don't like to sound like a know-it-all. I'm not. But I just feel like some things are just like
common sense. People
have like questions and it's like, well, I would think this and that. My desires covers all of that. I'm a very one and done type person. So if I could say one word to fix, I think it's because I'm indecisive. And so if I can get one word to encompass like 10 things, I feel like I'm accomplishing my indecisiveness. Okay. So if I can just say desires, but desires covers mental health, it covers money, it just, you know what I'm saying? It's like a cop-out kind of.
Kind of, because it's like a blanket instead of you being extremely specific. Mm-hmm. So someone truthfully has to dig in order to get the real answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're not going to give it to them because you'll present it in a way that's satisfying to them. And they're going, oh, okay.
I remember somebody said, and I mentioned God a lot, and I don't necessarily mean a religion. I just mean what but somebody said a woman should be so lost in God, a man has to seek him to find her. That's a lot of things. Like, I want to be like that with most things where people who genuinely want to get to know me, they have a desire to. So if I say, oh, my desires, I want somebody to be like, well, not on a podcast, but, I'm getting to know people. Mm-hmm. But okay. It's a cop-out. It's a defense mechanism. Mm-hmm. If I keep it surface, then you don't know too much.
And you do surface really well.
Thank you. It's a talent.
I know.
It's a gift.
Trust me. Listen, I don't know. Our birthdays are nowhere near each other, and we're in different generations.
Do you believe that?
What?
Like, that our birthdays would okay, so if we were to never know each other, that our birthdays would be aligned? When's your birthday?
How come you don't know this?
I probably do, but remember I said I drink sometimes. That's not alcohol.
That's a cop-out.
If you say it fast and answer fast, they get confused. That's one thing about being back in Youngstown that kind of makes me laugh is because I forget that y'all do know me. Mm-hmm. And going to places, 3 years at a time somewhere, you can be whoever you want to be. But sometimes I'll be like, da 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 da, and it'll be like, y'all, it's like, that's not true, Caitlin. I'm like, hey, you do know that, huh? I can't lie about that. But yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Now what? Where do we go from here?
That's joking. 2 questions that you have to ask. Ask them.
Oh, so you were them.
Yeah, I told you this was a short episode. This ain't even a full episode.
Okay.
It's just a podcast short. We're just doing this. She wanted to sit in the big chair and feel like a big girl.
I did.
And she wanted to feel like the, you know what I mean? Which, you're a co-host today. I feel like everyone that comes on is just a co-host. I don't like the, Blended Views Unfiltered. It's everyone having a conversation. I just happen to be asking a lot of the questions most of the time.
I love this chair, and I like this feeling. And so if it doesn't matter who sits here, I would like it to be me.
It's your only time. But
Oh my God. 2 questions. If you could change one thing about being a father, what would it be?
if I could change one thing about being a father.
And how you've done it, obviously.
And how I've done it.
Aren't they hard?
That's a good question. I would say that I would break away from the things or from the ways of how I was raised a lot faster. I eventually did it, but it took almost 3 kids getting there.
Poor Nevaeh is like, what the heck?
She really was. We talked about that when she was like, these kids don't get nothing. But I wish I would have broke away from those ways a lot sooner. Now, granted, it wasn't bad. Like my approach to fathering, it wasn't all of what I experienced growing up, because I had my thinking of, okay, these things, they got to be right because this is what was done. And then it was like, there's just some things I would just never do. So, but there were a lot of things that I had to break away from, that I should have broke away from a lot sooner.
What is one of your biggest flaws? And have you worked on it knowing it's one of your biggest flaws? That's kind of, I feel like you're going to say yes regardless. What have you done to work on it? I feel like you're like, of course I worked on it.
Because I have.
That's why I changed my question.
What have I done to work on it?
What's the flaw? I just imagine you being like, I don't have any. Gosh. Yeah.
I'm flawed. Listen, I wish I could say that I'm perfect, but I don't wish that I can, because then I would never learn anything. But I would say a flaw of mine is, I don't think it's one word. If it is, I don't know. I guess it'll come to me. But I would have to say that it is thinking or trying to get everyone to be on the same wavelength as me. Like the understanding, the common sense. Sometimes the lack of logic and common sense bothers me. So, but it used to really, really bother me. So I would always be trying to dive in and help, explain, and always be with those close to me, though, not like random people. I had to learn how to shut up.
So what would that flaw be? Because it sounds like they have a flaw, and your flaw is feeling bad. They had what's the flaw?
Because it was more so like, you know how you said, let it be, let them be sometimes? Like that was my issue of just like trying to save someone.
Captain Save-A.
Yeah, and not that I was always in like the best position, but more so like.
Not even just females. I say that to be,
Yeah.
So what you're saying,
Captain Save-A-Bro too.
Literally.
Yeah.
So one of your flaws was that you consistently try to make people believe or convince them about things that you know were
convert
right,
them to common sense. Can we say that? Let's just go with being stubborn. That's a flaw. let's just go with the stubbornness.
Completely different.
Yeah, let's just go with the stubbornness.
Okay.
That's a flaw. Being stubborn. How have I worked on that? Open-mindedness. Open-mindedness. And also being very strategic in the things that I do, because I'm not always stubborn about what people bring to me, but also about myself. I am also stubborn. So seeing the importance and whatever the topic or subject is revolving around myself and being intentional on fixing the problem. I've always been a solution-based person anyways. If you start talking, like I can listen to you. I'm an active listener. So I can listen to you and hear everything that you're saying, but at the same time, I'm instantly trying to think of a solution. That could be a flaw, actually. So what I was trying to explain earlier, that's it.
Sure.
Always trying to find a solution for something, and everybody doesn't want a solution all the time.
And being okay with it, they don't.
Yes.
Sometimes people don't want a solution because the frustration and pain gets them more attention. If you fix it, then nobody's going to ask you what's wrong anymore. So your issue, you saying, is when they don't want to see that a solution is really helpful, letting them just stay in there.
Yeah, it's always just trying to,
Which I feel like everything that you explained is kind of roots. It could have a root in stubborn. So
Yeah.
So what have you done? You said just being open-minded?
Being more open-minded, knowing when to shut up, knowing when to let life take its course with myself and people. I could be bullheaded sometimes too.
I was going to say there's a thin line between, like, I don't know the word, but a thin line between stubborn and nonchalant.
Yeah, I can be very nonchalant too.
What I never would have thunk.
Yeah.
Never.
Very, 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 very. But I think I feel like sometimes it's warranted because I don't want to take on everyone's problems.
Sometimes you have to be nonchalant to keep your own health and sanity.
Yeah. I'm honestly just a really simple individual. So I don't like things that overcomplicate my life just because I'm very, very simple. I may come across like I'm not, but I am very simple.
I bet you God brings you a lot of complicated people.
Yes. Yes. It can be very frustrating and annoying sometimes, but I have learned how to navigate that or in those people. I feel like with God bringing me a bunch of complicated people, it has helped me understand people more and understand myself more. Understand me first, right? Because the whole empathy thing that I didn't have and the stubbornness and all that all came to head at one point in time, and I didn't like who I seen in the mirror. So when faced with the fact that you have to stare at yourself and honestly, genuinely answer the question of, do I like the individual that's like, can I go to sleep and be comfortable with the individual that I am right now? And for those people who are completely honest with themselves, that's when change begins to happen. And in that point in time, like, I don't look at it like I wasn't a bad guy, you know what I mean? But there was just certain things that had either gone unaddressed, unnoticed.
You said you're solution based, so they weren't solution.
Yeah, or some things, where sometimes, you know what I mean? Imagine when people are just saying, you know what, like Caitlin, like everyone. Fifi. Auntie Fifi. Everyone likes Aunt Fifi. Nothing's wrong. Like, who wouldn't love her? You know what I mean? So then when you hear it, it's not that it's like, well, yeah, I'm this. It's not a conceited thing. It's just you're very confident in who you are. And it's like, that's not bad, but still maybe imagining that you haven't taken the time to actually sit with yourself.
That's a very, very good.
And to search out, like, all right, although I may have all of these people who are comfortable with me and they admire me and I may get compliments, like, don't be foolish enough to think that you're perfect and there's nothing wrong with you and there's not areas of your life that you can't fix.
They don't know you like you know you.
Correct.
That's very good. That's a very, very good
point. When you sit with yourself and you're beginning to become extremely honest with yourself, like, am I a good father? You know, sure, but how good of a father? What changes can you make? What adjustment can you make? Am I a good man? You know what I mean? Am I a good friend, a good son, a good whatever title you place on yourself? Am I a good title? You know what I mean? And then what can I be doing to improve that, to be better? That's what it is. So it wasn't until then. And then also, I think everything is in who you surround yourself with around too. Seeking out people who are light years ahead of you does wonders for your life.
I don't think any of my friends since my military career are under 10 to 15 years older than me. But when I say best friends, they're always wondering what I'm doing to better myself. To the point that I lie to you, not being funny. I think to myself, because my friends are so much older, I'm probably gonna be the ones to take care of them. Like, even if their kids never come back around, like they've poured so much into me, businesses, knowledge, wisdom, relationships, all those things. But that's a big thing in the military. When you have troops up under you, you know that they're watching your every single move.
Yeah.
But having friends that are not always the age range, but just light years and whatever, is super beneficial. I think if you ever have friends where you are comfortable and stagnant, they probably aren't real friends.
Correct.
If you sit here at a bar drinking every day and they're saying, let's go do it together, that probably isn't a real friend.
Yeah.
But
once I start doing that, then it's one of those things where you, you know, when you used to be in a certain place with similar individuals and you cool, but then you decide to do something a little bit different. And then you come back and it's just like, man, I just feel out of place. I don't feel comfortable, or this feels awkward and weird. And you may like force yourself to sit in that time frame that you allotted with them. But after that, it's like, yeah, I ain't doing that again. Like some people you just outgrow, some things you just outgrow, and you can't go back, because if you go back, it's going to pull you all the way back in. So with that growth, like you said, being around the right people, and sometimes the right people are just in your life for a season. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean forever. Not everyone's going to be forever, but for the season that you have them, like take advantage of the knowledge, the wisdom, the love, the caring, you know, whatever value that they hold in your life. You just got to take advantage of it.
This is my last question. It's kind of like advice. So say, for instance, myself, I come back here to where I'm from and say those seasons have changed. I mean, I've been away for almost 13 years. When you encounter those things or those old friends, or not even that they're bad, they just haven't met, like what you were saying, you might go back and it might be like, shoot, I'm not that comfortable. You don't hate the person. Right. What would be your advice for evaluating that situation and then handling that situation in a, you know, I don't want to tell nobody, I ain't your friend no more, whatever the case may be. What would you give advice to someone who has found themselves in the presence of people who may not have advanced or may just not be meeting their requirements of a friend anymore?
It's okay to let go. Because you could come back and your intentions are all well because it's familiar to you and it's comfortable to you, but it's not fitting for who you are now. The advice would just be to just learn how to let go. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll never be around that person, but you guys can't be in the same space that you were before. Right. And you got to be okay with that. And 9 times out of 10, you are okay with it.
You just don't want to hurt people.
You just don't want to. You kind of think of them, and it's like, but at the same time, a lot of times those people already know, because when you walk into a room and you walk into a space, when you hear, "What you doing here?" or you know, or you could be talking, but they can, whether they say it in front of you or once y'all depart, it's one of those things where it's just like, he or she is different. You know what I mean? Like they're different. Because I've had people, you know, once I begin to go to different levels and, you know, getting into business and like being around, it would be like, I didn't want to hold you down. I didn't want to hold you back. So I knew it was always going to be love, but we were not in that same space.
Do you go back for them or you let it go?
Let it go. Why would I go back?
I didn't say go back to them. I said go back for them. Like, do you ever find yourself trying to?
I've done that.
Reach and pull.
I've tried, because it's one of those things where, like, for me, I love seeing the people around me in winning situations.
Solution based. So
if I've gotten to a certain point, then it's like, all right, like, yo, I got the blueprint. Come on. Like, but I've just learned again, like, that whole whoever came up with the phrase of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Mm-hmm. It is so true, because if they're comfortable where they are or afraid to leave where they, which is the same thing essentially, there ain't nothing you could say, nothing you could do. Any amount of money that can convince them to be there, it'll only hold you back, frustrate you, and change your relationship with that individual. So you just gotta keep it pushing. Some people you can go back for, and if they're ready, you're going. Then that comes with bumping your head, making mistakes, growth. But not everybody is willing to leave where they are in order to come to where you are or where you want them. Not everybody wants to do that. So you gotta let them go, love them where they are.
Right.
And granted, some people you will still have around you and you will still love them where they are. But the difference is when you begin to search out who you are, you're finding out your purpose, your passion, and you're active in that. Your mindset won't let you go and stay over there too doggone long.
Right.
Because you're actively doing something. You know what I mean? And then those same people, the ones who are supposed to come with you, they're actively trying to do something as well. It may not be on your level yet, right, and it may surpass you, but those will be the ones that are like magnets to you. And and it won't be a lot. If you got a group of 10 people, maybe 5% may try to come, but you just you got to be okay with just letting go. They say that what they say, the higher the altitude, the less weight you got to have. Like, that's true.
In Colorado.
It's true.
No less you should drink when you go to high altitude places.
So there's just some things you have to shed in order to grow. And
usually I feel like they end up respecting you anyway.
Yeah.
And they end up watching you because by your fruits you're seeing, So sometimes that truth that you work to yourself teaches them how to be.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions, but I do have a food for thought joke. Just tell me now if I should say it or not, because listen. Okay. You ready? So there was a dog. He went down to the railroad tracks to try to find some food. Looking around the railroad tracks, looking for something. Boom! The train hit him. Mm-hmm. But the train only ran over his tail. So he said, you know what? I ain't going down to them tracks no more. I made it out alive without my tail. I'm good to go. 2 weeks later, dog said, you know what? How dare that train? I missed my tail. I'm finna go find my tail, get it sewn back on, and it'll be good. He go down to the train tracks, looking for his tail. Boom! Train hit him. Don't lose your head chasing after some tail. That's all I got. He killed him, took him out. He had no tail or no head. I probably won't be invited back anymore, you guys. So listen, it was great. My job here is over.
That was a good one. I get the analogy. I love it.
My dad taught me.
For all of listen, there's a lot of grown folk that need to hear that. So just rewind and listen to that again. Any takeaways? That's it? That was your takeaway?
And I got to watch more movies.
Please.
I'm going to sit at home while I watch the grass grow and just watch movies.
Yes, please. Just watch one a day. Just one. Hey, people, learn how to let go.
Let them.
In your growth, just let go. You know what? Another piece of advice. If you return back to somewhere,
I didn't ask it. I'm just kidding.
Oh, well. And you see somebody in the same space, that should be an automatic.
You say that, but it's so much harder. Easier said than done. Especially when you care. Like you said, you're solution based.
Yeah.
Especially when you can see it in them. Like you can see their solution. You can see their, like, why are you still here? And it makes it so much harder, especially when you come somewhere like home. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm better than anybody. Yeah. But to be back home, I want to pull all the good out because you say you're from Youngstown. It's so much, what made me move back was coming here, doing this, walking around and seeing businesses that people I went to high school with, my friends that I've had for years aren't strung out on drugs, they got families, they got jobs. There's so much good that's coming from here.
Yeah.
I want to pour into it. I want to be a part of it. So it is hard sometimes when you go somewhere, you might see one out of that 6 friends doing bad and you want to go back and pull them. But you're right.
Yeah.
Let them be there.
Yeah. You have to.
Yep, I'm learning.
Yes. It gets easier.
Thank you.
It does. They make it easy.
Yeah.
They do. They didn't make it easy. It's unfortunate, but they do make it easy. And you as well, because once you're at a certain place with yourself, you know that you don't want to go back
exactly
to who you were to a certain point. So it gets easier.
Especially when it comes to your livelihood. This generation is a lot different when it comes to your livelihood and your safety, your responsibilities. Yeah. Yeah. I'm learning.
Yeah. Well, people, we appreciate you tuning in to this. I was about to say YouTube short. It's not a YouTube short. This podcast short.
It's Horny Excursions Inc.com.
What she's referring to is the fact that we're on a new platform that goes along with all the YouTubes, the Spotify's. We're on Horny Extreme TV, which is a new platform, which is now in 170 different countries. What? It's on every single. Absolutely. You can go and download it in Google Play. And what's that other one? The Apple thing, the Apple Store or Apple whatever. iTunes, yeah. That I don't know a lot about that.
I'm so proud of myself. Fruit. I knew that answer.
Eve went and bit that fruit and then made it all. So I try to stay away from it. But either way, you can go to that place, the iTunes, and download Horny Extreme TV. They're working on a new movie short now to go on there. But it's all kind of different podcasts, movies, plays are all on this app. Download it, subscribe. Listen, it's only a few dollars. You get a whole lot of content every single month. So we're on there. We got a real big joint coming in about 2 months. It's going to be super dope. But you can only check it out on Horny Extreme TV. So until next time, play the moments, positive memories, stop the pain, and keep the happiness on repeat. Peace.